Move it, quacker. Let's get quacking. Let's go. Yep. That's right. Honk your horn before you go around the corner. There you go. You got the whole family over here. You guys go on vacation, or what are you guys doing?
This video is brought to you in part by TruTech Tools. Quality tools, essential support.
So we're out here hunting today for a bad compressor. Yeah, no, we're actually at a factory, and you would think it though when you look at the ducks, the geese, I should say. Yeah, you can see two of them up there. There's another one over there. So yeah, we are changing one of these boat anchors here. We were able to get it over this far. Luckily, we was able to bring it out through one of these side doors with the forklift to that point and then coast it over. Using the field piece, zero stop unit here, and the Opus power bank, because there's no 120 volt out here. This thing pulls liquid super freaking fast. We're running 410A right here. So we're getting that. My Opus here, it's 1800 watts. It's pulling about 640 watts on the machine, but more than enough power to do it. Not in the greatest location, so we're doing it from over here on this other side. These coils are really dirty, but first time me and Clayton's been here. What's up? I know, I seen that. I recorded them earlier. So we've got this nice quiet makeup air unit here that's making all kinds of noise, and we're trying to figure out how to get these screws undone, because they ran them all the way through the bottom there and you can't get to it. I don't see any spot. You might be able to get somehow to that area there, but I ain't sure. One of our other guys quit, so now we got stuck with it. I didn't want him to quit, but he quit. That's what we're doing today. Good times. We got new contactors, filter dryers, which I've seen the filter dryers that came out with the new opening devices here now. You can actually pull tab that bad boy instead of pulling the side off. Not sure how that comes out of there. Looks like it just tapped in. That's like a bad spot. I wouldn't have put it there. All right, so we've got it recovered. Surprisingly, we're still at 43% on our battery system here, which that's a solar system. I can plug in solar panels. Not every day I use it. Actually cheaper to buy one of these than it is to buy a $1,000 Milwaukee recovery machine. When you already have a recovery machine, you can buy one of these. So anyhow, we had to use an adapter on some of our 3/8 there. I don't have any 3/8 actual threaded size. And I double checked our suction over there, so we are completely recovered, which he's got his big monster wrench here.
I'm gonna have to have you flip back. Actually, no, look at that. It's not even square from factory.
Awesome.
The bottom's got a big old gap in it.
Quality's job one. Gotta love it. So this thing didn't have any oil in it at all, which is a bad sign, because that oil's in the system somewhere. And we were going to do an oil change on this other compressor beside it. And of course those have been stretched so badly that they don't spin freely. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. This will be the next one going bad. They should have probably just done both at the same time. Yeah, there's some oil in there. Problem is that oil doesn't get all the way down to the bottom. So we'll have to stick a pump down in there and suck it out. We can get something simple like this right here, which you can get from like AutoZone, which I've used for gearboxes, or you can get your adapter here. Here you can get your adapter where it just basically plugs into the end. Usually that little O-ring and stuff takes a crap, but
it already has.
Yeah, the one did. So then you can suck it out and put a piece of copper on the end.
Oh, God.
That's nasty.
God bless America. I mean, you can just see it in the hose. Look at it in the hose. That was pure black that just came out of it.
Let's see if that other suction thing will work. I'll hook to that.
Basically, you just got it.
You may have to get a soft hose to do it right, but
yeah, well, getting the majority of it out with that, and then we can put a soft hose on it to get the very, very bottom. So we got to do an oil change on this one. That's the one that's getting replaced. So that the new compressor will have new oil in it, obviously, but this guy here, it's gotta have an oil change because this shares a oil circuit, which I think Rick showed earlier. So that guy connects both compressors, and it shares the same oil. There's your oil sight glass right there.
Okay, we've got that almost completely filled up, and by switching it to a different hose, it really sucked it out pretty quick. We're gonna have to give them a price on coming back. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to probably recover the refrigerant to do it. So we used this bandsaw to cut that sucker. Now I'll unsweat that with my torch, and then I'll clean those shavings out with my brush. And I wanted to make sure I had enough copper to get into the new one. Now what sucks is this new one doesn't have one of those cap fittings. Not sure what happened there. Other problem we have these idiots that decide to put a nut on the back side with no way to take it off and no access point underneath of it. Typical no ingenuity. Have I told you I hate York yet? Yep. Of course, it's got special oil, made in Japan, nice and cheap. Well, either we can drill a hole into that rail.
Pretty hot.
Can't tell. I don't feel like it's running at full force.
Whoa, the bottom's definitely warming up. Sparks is a flying. There she goes.
Now, you can sometimes do this with soft solder. We're going to try to do it with braze, which usually ain't real easy to do, but we're going to try. That way it makes it easier to solder on.
I'll hit it with the wheel too.
Yeah, the wheel will help big time. That way we can slide it in there. Even for DeWalt. And then we'll just clean that nasty crap out of it here in a minute with brush. How's that? We're just clowning around. Yeah, I probably shouldn't put that in here.
I would.
That could possibly.
I hope you watch it.
That looks a lot better. I think them babies is gonna slide right in there. I think so too. And then we'll clean that crap out there on the inside, which we can't hardly see in there very well, but yeah, we'll get it out of there. That ain't a big deal.
Nope.
Then we'll try to run some nitrogen through it when we actually braze it in.
Okay. Do we want to take that plug out
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
of the suction?
Still don't know what we're gonna do about that temperature probe. I said we try to get that suction on there a little better.
Hey, down. There.
Got it.
I'll do
It's
that.
good.
I'll do that. Let's get this guy in there because it's starting to dig into that copper.
Problem-
Good or not good?
Well, the problem is you gotta be able to hold it there, and that's the hard part. So maybe if we hooked a chain around this and a strap, we could pull it over to it. Yeah, as long as you can hold it. The problem is you wiggle it while it's cooling, you're gonna break my joint. looks pretty good.
4-2.
461. The voltages are right.
460.
It's kind of annoying. So we're gonna brush wheel that and check it over. That filled her in with silver pretty good.
That ain't going nowhere.
Get her, get her. So we're using that chain so we don't melt the strap. And now it's time for NASCAR. Take the wheels off. Yeah, a lot of oil trapped in there. That's not good. Well, that's a little dirty. Little dirty. Look at that. That's not good. Not good at all. Should have quoted both compressors being replaced. They should have been quoted with, we recommend both of them, here's the price, and if you don't do it, sorry Charlie, there's no warranty on labor if the next one goes bad, nor mechanical warranty. We got everything cleaned up, took the seal out of it, which has kind of been my normal thing I do now. I don't reuse it. I know several guys do, and they end up leaking later. I had to take out all that felt stuff. That's a flipping mess. Flush this all out with the brake cleaner. We've noticed this thing short cycling a lot. I think it's purely on demand and they're not holding a certain water temperature only, so it's the best thing to do is keep it running, and unfortunately it's not doing it from the way it seems. That was a little bit easier than before. That was a lot easier. Looks like those are a lot nicer filter dryers than these Sporlins. These Sporlins look like, the Sporlins have so much crap flake off of them. It's kind of a, I don't know, less than perfect design. All right, so we got her snugged up there with the old 2-inch wrench. Both of them looking good in the hood. We end up replacing those white nylon washers that seal it. Didn't make it stupid tight. I've seen some lately that are so tight that they nearly stretch the metal. So we've got everything back together here on this filter. We got paper seals, whatever you want to call it, and between all of them on both sides of the plates. I'm just going to snug it up to hold it in place, and then we'll use the torque wrench on it. And I put a new seal on the outside. I know a lot of guys, we can get it done faster. We got to work fast, 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 fast. So we can go back 6 times, so we can go fast, fast. And they don't replace it. I tried it once or twice and it didn't work. And it's not fast when you got to go back. Now I'll get that old torquey wrench in there, 25 to 30 foot-pounds. Just a cheap torque wrench, but you know, it's always going to be the same when you torquing even with a cheapie. I've noticed a lot of these cheap torque wrenches and whatever tools, they work just fine. Okay, it's good. I told the maintenance guy about what was going on, and he said he didn't say much, but you know, they make plastic things for cars, so here's what it is. Mark it on our paperwork, hey, this is what we found, and document it. It's going to be 3 o'clock, better hurry it up. Come on, don't be doing it Dickie style, we got to go fast. We walk around with the camera right in our face like this, like, get that camera in my face and drive me crazy. All right, so one of the things I had was actually braze in a brass fitting into that copper. So we used a couple drill bits to get me up to that size. Did it on the bottom so the shavings would fall down. And like I said, it got in there pretty good from what I can see. And I got silver wrapped all the way around. Not what I wanted to do, but it was about my only option. Like I said, I don't like the way they did that, but at least now, I mean, and I only took it in about maybe an 1/8, I don't know, maybe an 1/8 of an inch or so. I didn't go in far enough it's going to restrict any flows. And then I put the Loctite, it's a white type dope looking Loctite stuff that we use for our threads. It works usually pretty pretty good. We just pumped all that oil in there really fast like with my Yellow Jacket pump here. I just got the 77930. This thing is a lot faster than my other pump that I've had forever. I mean, there's nothing wrong with my other one, but this does a few more ounces or an extra ounce or so. Was able to pump it right into the compressor. Our level is right in the middle there on the sight glass, and we're ready to start pulling vacuum now. This, like most of my tools from TruTech Tools, as always guys, TruTech Tools is a sponsor of the video. Check them out. You can use promo survival to save yourself 6%, which is the same amount everyone's got now. Everybody had 8 prior to, but you know what? Life is what it is. And nice thing I love about Yellow Jacket, made right here. And we did get the new contactor in there. Clayton took care of that. That's some nice wire. It's nice and soft. They got power on the inside, but man, this kind of made it so much simpler, and it's sitting around half the time anyway, so put that to use. So we're on the vacuum here. We had the gas ballast open there, and now we are pulling. We had to do some reducer fittings there for 3/8 a quarter. I should get me some extra hose adapters. That way I could have done 3/4 or 3/8 to 3/8 or 3/8 to 1/2 inch. That would have speeded it up probably a little bit more. We're watching our micron gauge here on the side. We're at 2,000 so far, and it's dropping. Okay, so we're trying out the newer Navac gauges there. Just came out. Been pretty happy with them. What do you think of them?
They're pretty sweet.
I think they're, I mean, for an affordable set, 1/4 inch turn for all the way on to all the way off. I think it's pretty slick. Yeah, USB recharge. I mean, pretty simple. So we had this shut off. We're gonna go ahead and get this turned on. You can get these keys on Amazon. I'll put a link down below. So let's go into options. System 1 on, system 2 off. So now system 2's on, system 1's off. Should come on in 40 seconds. So as soon as it does, it should open up. Okay, so it kicked on, and we don't have any pressure on the compressors. Turn this thing back off. Solenoid, liquid solenoid should have opened up. All right, so this thing's a piece of shit, and the piece of electronic expansion valve is made by Danfoss. I am going to use a new tool from TruTech Tools. Oh, I was going to, but I can't. I was going to use one of my cool little magnets to have multiple magnets in there. I was going to open that EXV up, but I can't do it because you can't take the head off of it. So you turn it, and it'll make the thing spin in and spin out.
The EXV?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
That's pretty gnarly.
Those are magnets. All those little things. I think this was over $100 for these 2 things. I think somebody printed it on their printer. See, EEVMATE, EEV mate. But unfortunately, all the stupid ass EXV crap is unable to be taken apart very easily. So much for that. Now what do? Things in a vacuum, doesn't want to open up, doesn't want to start. We really don't want to run a brand new compressor in a negative vacuum. Kind of tends to blow stuff up. So yeah, things are going good. As usual, somebody else's job and everything goes to shit. And it's 5 o'clock. All right, give me a couple seconds and we'll get back into the video, but here's what's going on. The EXV ended up having either a short or something's bad with it. You're gonna see in this next video clip that I found rain damage on the control board. Either way, the right side likely was not working. It definitely would explain why we had so much oil all over the system. All said and done, no one had a Danfoss controller to replace those control boards. No one had the Danfoss EXV. So we switched it back to good old Sporlan, and we had somebody go from Ohio to Chicago to pick up the board at 3:30 in the morning, and he got back to me about 1:30 in the afternoon. So he made a special trip over there and back. We're going to get the new EXV kit installed, which gives us all new control boards, a new EXV, and all the sensors that we need. Come to find out, we have everything but 2 EXVs, so we have picked up a second EXV. I'm going back on Monday to replace the EXV. So let's go ahead and get started with the clips that I do have, but that's the context of what we got going on. So let's finish the video. If you look at the 2 different control boards for the EXV, they're both shot. This is the one that had not smoked yet. You can see that it's got damage right there. It looks like it got wet, whatever. On this one here, same ordeal. This is the one that smoked out. You can see that right there, guys, where damage got done. And somewhere down here, I think. Either way. So we got to go in here and get cleaned off so we can go into the paint booth. that's the trim panels, and basically that thing paints, sprays it there, and there's a water curtain back there in the back that catches it and then recycles it. That's the area that we're actually taking care of. That's cool.
Well, what are we changing over right now, so that's why there's nothing in there.
So that's plastic that got
Yeah, that's
painted.
an unpainted part as well.
Just car pieces. Then it goes on brackets like that.
Yeah.
It goes on through. Basically, it's a paint booth, a big paint booth like you would see on a, like where they paint cars at. And so it's pressurized. Up there at the top is air handler. And it's pressurized. It keeps it around 72 degrees, low humidity. And it's a waterborne paint. And that's how it works, which is kind of interesting. I don't know what's going on, but I was able to recover everything the last time. It was 50-some degrees, and now we're at like 67 degrees, and this thing is having a fit, a total fit. Brand new cylinder. I tried doing it upside down through the vapor there. It is getting hotter than all get out. It just keeps getting better and better. They didn't have any water on the side of the building. That was not hooked up. They're tearing that chiller out over there. It's another paint booth. So this is RO water, believe it or not. And although it's nice and cold, just got to do what I got to do to keep that pressure down. We're running about 350. It's pretty much all vapor. It never got condensed into a liquid because it never pumped in through the system. So unfortunately, we're purely pulling it out in vapor form. I just got to get it emptied so that when the guy gets here, which is going to be a couple hours because he's coming all the way from Chicago. He started, like I said, at 3:45 this morning. And so he'll be here about 1:15. We're getting ready to get this out of here. And what I noticed when I got looking at this, something's been attacking this wire. I don't know what, but that's not good. That is not good at all. And that comes all around here. It's all been whacked. It's almost like a weed whacker, but it's really, really crazy the damage that's been done to that wire. We're gonna take it apart, split it, and see if it actually broke into the actual conductors underneath of it, but that's not good. Not seeing so much on the other one. It looks like it's probably fine. Hard to say. I've been, you got a lot of potential animals that could sneak out there from that woods out there in that field, but raccoons maybe, hard to say. Okay, we stripped it out, and there is spots where it has. Thank you. All right, so the kit came with a new TXV, which we went ahead and I'm gonna admit sawzalled that sucker out of there like a bad person. And because this other valve that we're gonna be putting in there has plenty of room, and we end up using our wire brush, which I usually use right here, to clean it out. Now we're gonna go ahead and blow some of that out. I'm not able to record while I'm doing this because I did not bring my SD card from my other camera, so we're gonna have to do it off the phone. But what we're gonna do is purge through the suction line of the compressors and push some of that oil out, and then we'll start working on this section there, which is your liquid coming in. We got the boss man out here, putting him to work. You don't usually see this happen very often. Talk about giving somebody a hand. Is this still coming out, or are we about done? Okay, I got everything prepped up here. They went through, like I said, cleaned out any shavings with the brush, and got everything prepped with the wire brush wheel. So we're gonna slide that thing in there. We've got this all loosened up so that we can move it back and forth. So once we get it in there, it shouldn't catch on fire. At least we're hoping not. Hopefully this is the right diameter. Looks like it is. There we go. We'll probably do it the same there. And move this back here. We'll get that with two hands. Okay, just like a glove. So I'll get a braze in here real quick. We got that metal down there because there's oil all over down here, and that can catch on fire and probably hurt a lot. So, all right.